This is the Cubs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Cubs POSTCAST here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. And the Cubs get walked off again for the second time on this road trip. Daniel Palencia comes into the game in a non-save situation, just like he did against the Giants, and he can't get the job done. We're going to talk about that, the ending of that game. We'll talk about Ian Happ, what happened, everything in between, Porter Hodge, who could have really let this game become a total disaster. Plus, we'll take your questions and comments here in the chat as well. We'll just start with Palencia, because if you look at the chat right here, let's see, Stomp Expert says Palencia can't do it. Make Keller the closer. Same thing with Brendan here. Daniel's allowed to run in his last 4 non-save situations. That's what I want to focus in on here at the start of the show, for me at least. So I think, Brendan, this is a very good point. Daniel Palencia is not good in non-save situations as of late. There are closers who are just built like this, right? Who we see them, they're good all the time. They struggle in non-save situations. Josh Hader's one that I frequently watch a lot, and he goes out there and he's not able to get the job done because for whatever reason, some guys just aren't built for this. Ryan Presley, who was on the Cubs earlier this season, same situation where, like, in the past in his career, he'd been great in save situations, but in non-save situations, it's a total disaster. But Craig Counsell makes a decision to put Daniel Palencia in the decision, to put him there in the 9th again, which is questionable. Now, they mentioned this in the broadcast. We don't know if Brad Keller is available, but no matter what, I do think I feel comfortable saying I don't trust Daniel Palencia in these situations. He's proven he can save baseball games. I don't know if it's a stress thing, but he hasn't been nails as of late. He's had a lot of runners on. He's gotten out of some big situations in that Giants series as well, where he hasn't gone out there and put up the easy innings as frequently as he needs to. He did in yesterday's game for sure, but recently, Palencia just hasn't been able to go in there and get 3 guys up, 3 guys down. And that's crucial because at this point in the season, it's the playoffs. It's like the playoffs are here. They're right around the corner, 30 days left to go basically until the playoffs start, a little bit less actually. And that's not a situation that you feel comfortable with him. And I do wonder with the way Palencia is pitching recently, because Craig Counsell has shown that while he's stubborn with his lineup, to a fault, he is not stubborn with his bullpen. The Cubs have gone through multiple closer situations this year, right? We know it started with Presley, then it went to Hodge, then it went back to Presley. Now it's been to Palencia. So could you make a change at this point in the season? I think it's on the table. We'll see what they do, but it wouldn't shock me to see Keller be the guy that goes out there on a more regular basis and is asked to get the ball. But specifically in this situation, I don't want to see Daniel Palencia out there right now. I do not want to see him out there in a non-save situation just because it hasn't gone well for him. You're not seeing him go out there and have the command that he needs, and he's giving up too many guys on base to where it's just there's no confidence at this point. And he wasn't the only guy who struggled in this game. We'll talk about Ian Happ and the other performances in this game from the offensive perspective. But, I think when you look at this team, what happened earlier in the game, they're also lucky this game didn't get extremely out of hand. Porter Hodge that was not a good first impression to come back to this roster. Every time Porter Hodge comes back up, you think, okay, is he going to be fixed from this most recent minor league stint to be the guy that he was last year? And he just doesn't have it this year. Porter Hodge, to me, is a wash. And we're seeing the Cubs make some moves. They picked up Aaron Civale from the White Sox, who was on the Brewers earlier this year. So he'll be added to the bullpen officially, starting for tomorrow. I don't think that's a high leverage guy, but you're adding to your bullpen. And I just don't think that there's, frankly, any reason why Porter Hodge should be on this big league roster. Every time he's come up this year, the injuries have just totally derailed his season to the point where I don't see why at this point, as you're trying to chase down the Brewers potentially, and you could have taken advantage. You could have swept this game. You could have gained a game on the Brewers, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't gain the game. And that's why probably the Cubs aren't going to win the division, is because when they've had opportunities recently, when the Brewers have lost, they're also losing. They're not taking advantage of the moments that are in front of them, and they're just coming up short. And it's mostly on Palencia in this one, but Porter Hodge was just a total disaster. We got a couple Brewers fans here in the chat. I'm guessing Jordan says, good luck with Saval. Yeah, I don't have high confidence in him at this point. That's an arm to fill and help you fill until the end of the season. It's not someone coming in that I said this yesterday, whether it's him or whoever else the Cubs are going to bring in at this point, because it's not all confirmed just yet, who will be on the 40-man roster by the end of the night, who make them playoff eligible. No one you're bringing in at this point in the season is coming in to save the day for the Cubs and any struggles that they potentially have at this point in the season. So, like, this is a disappointing game, just because I said it from the first game of the series, before the series, you expect to sweep the Colorado Rockies. These games should not have been as close as they were, and honestly, now that the series is over, it probably says more about this team than you want it to, or how they played. That the first game of the series, you should not have had to use your high leverage guys. You were forced to use your high leverage guys. You won. The second game of the series, you probably didn't need to use your high leverage guys again, and you were forced to. And this game, your high leverage guys, they let you down. And Daniel Palencia is just not able to get it done. Someone asked, so if Keller's the closer, who do you put in the eighth? Well, frankly, it's Palencia, right? Like, you're just talking about flipping roles for them. You're not, I mean, maybe Palencia's, you can be a little more, you can be more creative at this point for how you're going to use the bullpen if Palencia is not your closer. Like, who gets the eighth inning is probably more of a matchup thing between Pomeranz, Palencia, Kittredge, Rogers. So it's probably not like a guaranteed eighth inning guy if they were to make the change. And frankly, that's probably should just be what it is in general. Like, you should probably just have Brad Keller pitching at this point in the season against the three best batters at the end of the game. Like, if you're playing the Brewers, let's say, in the playoffs, and you know that their three best hitters are coming up, or more likely, let's use the Padres as an example, because that's where they're headed right now, is a first-round matchup with the Padres. If you know that guys like Fernando Tatis are coming to the plate in the eighth inning, that to me is where you want Keller to come in. Jay asks, why can't Thielbar pitch 2 innings? I mean, it's been a while since we had seen Thielbar, it feels like. I'm sure it's more recent than I remember, but it feels like it's been a little bit since we've seen him out there. We don't see a lot of guys go 2 innings. I have the same sentiment with you, Jay, with the question. Like, I'd like to see more guys happen or get more extended appearances than they actually get. But really, the only way Craig Counsell does that is he brings someone back out if there's a lefty on the mound, and Thielbar would get that first out, and then he would hand the baton off to someone else. O'Reilly says Palencia gets frazzled too quickly. I agree. I think that's one of the things that with Palencia, that for him to become a very good closer over time, that he's got a deep breath a little bit. Even yesterday's game, like, they had to, Carson Kelly, I think it was, Carson Kelly had to come out to the mound and just kind of get him to have a deep breath to relax after he chased down the runner going to first base, because he could tell that he was pretty amped up after that. So you had to go out there, calm him down a little bit. So yeah, I think he's got to breathe a little bit. Kevin says, Joe, thoughts on Carlos Santana and thoughts on whose spot does he take? He's just a guy. I guess he plays instead of Bush sometimes. I don't like that. He's just an extra bat, maybe a pinch hitter. Whose spot he takes, we'll see. There's a report that Calvin Alcantara is coming up, which I don't quite understand. Why you need another outfielder. We'll see. So I don't know. I don't know whose spot Santana will take at this point. It won't be Justin Turner. So I'll be curious that once the rosters officially expand, what that's going to look like and what this Cubs roster is going to look like for the final, 28 or whatever it is games left to go in this season. All right. We'll take our break here. We'll get some more of your questions and comments. We'll talk about Ian Happ coming through in this series. Kyle Tucker, a fantastic road trip. Those are the positives for sure. We'll get to all of that next year on the Locked on Cubs postcast on the Locked on Cubs YouTube channel. Today's show is brought to you by Upside. Are you still paying full price for gas? Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON and get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first fill up. You can make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. It's totally legit. Everyone thinks it's too good to be true, but it's a great way to save some money. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25-cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Today's show is also brought to you by PrizePicks, the daily fantasy app where making the right call can actually pay off. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right means cashing in. With football back, PrizePicks is the simplest and fastest way to get on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, and you can turn your takes into real prizes all in less than 60 seconds. Right now, you can download the PrizePick app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. All right, positives here. Kyle Tucker was fantastic in this series. He continues to, in this series, in this road trip, he's building off of what he has been doing recently. He's getting on base, whether it's his bat, the walks, everything. He just keeps going out there and producing at a very, very high level. And then Ian Happ, who ties the game with the 3-run homer there in the 8th inning. You need someone to be clutch, and he was it. Bush and Tucker get on, and then Ian Happ gets it done in this one. I think Ian Happ, he's gotten a lot, rightfully so, a lot of grief, but he has been much better as of late, to the point now where with the way that he's swinging and the way that Michael Bush is swinging in the leadoff spot, I kind of wonder if maybe there's a conversation about moving Ian Happ back to the leadoff spot. Now, he's hitting the ball so well, the argument is not to move him. Obviously, Craig Counsell is taking that approach with Matt Shaw. He's taking that approach with other people as well, but you know, if Ian Happ's doing this well, and you look at the splits, like if you look at Michael Bush per, where he's at in the lineup, he's so much better batting 4th or 5th than he is batting leadoff. So if Ian Happ is going to get hot and start playing better, I think there's a real legitimate argument to just put him in the leadoff spot and go back to the way the lineup was earlier in the season, because it can move PCA down, which he needs it. It can put Michael Bush in a position that he's more comfortable in. It's a lot of that can be very positive for the Cubs. So we'll see if they do it. I honestly, again, I doubt it. I doubt we see that change, because think about how long it took for Ian Happ to get out of the leadoff spot in the lineup. So look, this was not a great series for the Cubs, even though they won it. Matthew Boyd, someone asked in the chat earlier if he's slowing down a little bit. I don't know. I don't want to take too much away from the pitching performance from the starters in this series, from Boyd or Assad, or anything, honestly, just because the Rockies, they're bad, but they do score. I think it's like 4.6 runs per game at home because it's so easy to score in Colorado. So I want to see what the next start looks like for Boyd, because they have been, this is something that they've been keeping an eye on, right? Obviously, they've been taking him out early in games, just like they've been doing with Cade Horton. And neither of those guys were, excellent or in any way, shape, or form in this series. Dan asks, is it time to let Boyd skip a start? It can't be, just because, they need him out there. They don't have the bodies. I do agree with Rob here. Boyd was unlucky, victimized by a lot of soft contact. Yeah, it's not like he was out there getting crushed. Really, none of the pitchers did, whether it's Horton, Assad, or Boyd. Just wasn't, the ballpark played to the Rockies' advantage throughout this series, and the Cubs, they took 2 out of 3, but I was frustrating. Mike says the Rockies did take 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. You're right, and someone else said baseball is hard. Baseball is hard, but the bar was raised by the Cubs this year by why they were why the way they played. And frankly, it's just that they haven't lived up to them recently, and that's why I think that they're back in there. Ryan's super negative today here in the chat. It says, Joe, enough excuses. The Cubs are just not a good team. I mean, I can't agree with that. Like after a loss, like I know they lost, but like I just can't. I know they just got swept in their last series, but like they're a good team. They're a great team. No. Are they a World Series contender? Probably not. I think there's a difference there. You can be good, but not be great and not be a World Series threat. And your front office can let you down by bringing in guys like Willie Castro who can't hit. Apparently, didn't love that Nico got the day off. Honestly, at this point, I don't get the Willie Castro thing at all. I know why they have to have him out there, but but Owen Casey doesn't have to be out there, so I don't know why Willie Castro has to be out there. Not like it would have changed probably how this game went for the Cubs, honestly, because the offense was, not great for the most part. So that'll wrap it up for us today. Tomorrow is going to be a TBD for us. My radio show is at 6:00. The Cubs Braves game starts at 3. So it's going to depend on how fast tomorrow's game goes, if we can squeeze in a post-game show tomorrow night or not. So to everyone here in the YouTube chat, we appreciate you guys as always. I definitely get why a lot of you are frustrated on a day like today. It's totally fair. It was an annoying loss, to say the least. Remember, hit that subscribe button here on YouTube, and as well anywhere you get your podcast, Apple and Spotify. Thanks to all of you for listening here on YouTube, everyone listening on the audio platforms as well. So thank you guys for watching and hanging out with us. We'll be back with you either tomorrow or Tuesday, again, TBD. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. Enjoy your Sunday.